So, figuring out training, running a business, and being the dad that, before having kids, that I always wanted to be. You know, I wanted to be that dad that was playing catch with the kids, making it to every practice, not missing anything, and being there. And the reality of it is, man, it's just, when you are on such a big mission, whether it's building a business, training for an event, trying to make the money that you want to for your family to have the certain lifestyle, you're gonna miss out on those things. I have missed more practices than I ever thought that I would, you know, and sometimes that really like takes a toll on me. And trying to fit in all of this training that I'm doing, that's like 2 to 2.5 hours a day, sometimes that training is going to have to be put to the side. You know, if I have to decide whether or not I go to a practice or go to hit a training session, 10 times out of 10, man, I'm going to choose going to my kids' practice. And just lately, it just seems like, even though I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm training by 5:36, it just seems like I don't have enough time in the day to be able to do all this stuff. And I feel like a lot of you guys can relate with that. You know, you're on a mission to do all these things. You see yourself doing all of these things in life. You have big goals, big aspirations. You want to have a positive impact, but it just seems like you don't have enough time in the day to get all those things. I would tell you that do not let just one day be the reason why you don't accomplish those things in the big picture, in the long term, you know, goals. One off day is not going to throw you off. I used to believe that. I used to believe that, you know, missing a practice was going to make me a bad dad. Missing a training session was going to just completely derail everything. Missing a meeting for the business would just make me this terrible leader, terrible boss, that kind of stuff. And that's just so far from the truth, man. And I want to find this balance, and it's not the balance that, you know, social media is telling you to try to figure out. The balance that I'm trying to create is a system to where every single day I can strategically plan out my day and make sure that I'm giving it 100% effort in where I'm at and what block of the day that I'm in. If I have 3 hours to train in the morning, I'm working on getting my schedule and the system in place to where nothing is going to disturb me for those 3 hours, right? 9 times out of 10. Sometimes things are going to come up, and that's okay, because I don't expect perfection. I expect to be consistent with it. And then when I'm on my 5 hours of work block for the day, again, things may come up, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be able to give 100% effort into my work and get the things that I need to get done at the highest level and the best effort that I can possibly put out. And then I have my 4 or 5 hours the rest of the night to be the parent that I want to be, the parent that I envision myself being before having kids. And as long as I get my training block taken care of with 100% effort, and I get my work block accomplished at 100% effort, I give it everything that I have, I will be able to do that at the end of the night with those 4 or 5 hour blocks of being able to shut off thinking about training, thinking about work, and just focus on being a dad and being present with my kids. That is focused on trying to figure out, trying to structure with my day, because that is of the most importance. I want to be able to give 100% into each block that I'm doing, and I know that over time that will compound on itself in the term of, you know, brick by brick. Every single day I'm trying to lay another brick of just being consistent. Not perfect, but just being consistent. And over time, that house will be built to where it will be like second nature, and that is the way that I want my life to be structured, and that's what I'm trying to build right now. The biggest reason why I want to have my life structured like this is my number one goal for being a parent is to lead by example. I want my kids to see what right looks like. When I grew up, I had that. I had a father that was exactly what I wanted to be like. And everything that I do has a purpose. Every second of my day, it has a purpose, and how I spend it. I realized as I got older, pretty much when I turned 30, I just made this decision of like, I need to cut out whatever is not progressing me to that goal and to that vision that I see myself being. And I lost, not really lost sounds like, it's a bad thing, but I had to change who I was hanging around with all the time, where I was spending my time, how much I was spending my time texting people back or being on phone calls or socializing, going out, like all these things that I've changed. And it was honestly because like I had enough, and it's not that I think that I'm better than anybody. The sole dictating factor of it was that I was not able to get to where I wanted to go while doing all that stuff. And when I took a back seat and analyzed what was stopping me from becoming that, these are the things that I identified, and these are the things that I needed to change in order to be that version of myself that I wanted to become. And some of it was, family members. It didn't really matter what it was or who it was. If it was an issue that I identified that, all right, this is a problem, I had to get rid of that. So change is a constant thing. And don't feel bad if you have to change who you're hanging out with, who you're friends with, who you're spending your time with. As long as you know that that change is going to bring good, then that's all you need for justification of why you're doing something. This is where I spend like a lot of the time. I want you guys to know that like running a business and like being the CEO and being the founder, like there's so many different things that you have to manage, especially being a very, very small team. Like I'm on this computer checking website stuff, talking to manufacturers, looking at financial stuff. Like a big thing right now is as the business is growing, being able to make sure that your cash flow is like on point. When we're running out of the house, like if you guys see this picture, like this was in our living room, and this is where we ran the business for the first 2.5 years. And one thing that I didn't even think about, I always wanted to get into a warehouse because you pick up your cell phone and you're on Instagram, and if you're wanting to start a business, you're looking at all of these businesses that are already in place, and you just see them in these giant warehouses, or you're following somebody's story as a business owner and they go from their house or garage into a big warehouse, and you're just like chomping at the bits to get to that. And when you look at it on your cell phone, it looks like you can do this within a year. And honestly, that's what I thought. I thought that I was going to be able to do this, get into a warehouse and have a full team, have a team of employees, athletes, like everything. I'm like, I'll be able to do this within a year. We're going to get this business to be $1 million company within the next 365 days. And that was a complete unrealistic expectation. But in my mind, just from seeing everything on social media, I really thought that it was possible. And I worked my ass off for 365 days and found myself in the same place that I was when I started it, in the house. And like I said, we ran that out of the house for the next 2.5 years, and we were able to completely dodge like having warehouse rent and having these overhead things. And when you hear somebody talk about overhead, what that means is like these expenses are every month no matter what. So every month you have an overhead expense of a warehouse space, right? And instead of which over a year's span, that shit adds up. And right now our warehouse space is like $8,000 a month. So when I was out of the house, I had an extra $8,000 to spend on products. So that's how we were able to bring so many new supplements, new flavors, new pieces of apparel. Like we were just able to dump all the money back into the business and the products and the things like that. And yes, we are still dumping it back into the business as far as like paying for a warehouse, but you're not getting a return on an investment with that, right? So once we got into this warehouse, that overhead really, like, I wasn't even thinking about it. So now I'm like used to being able to have this $8,000 a month extra to spend on products, and now I have to spend it on a warehouse space. So over 12 months, that's over $100,000 that you don't have, that I was so used to spending in the business. So if you're in this startup phase like I was, just remember that, like, eventually as you grow, you will grow out of the house. If you keep at it, you keep doing it, you will grow out of your house and move into a space where you have to pay for it every single month. And we're at this point now where we need some help. I've pretty much bootstrapped this business, building the supplement side, the apparel side, as far as I can with my own money. And so now we are looking to get some partnerships with some funding businesses, so that way we can make sure that we bring all of those items that you guys really, really like back in stock and be able to buy it to where we have it in stock for a longer period of time. Because right now we're running out of these hybrid shorts, the distance caps. We're running out of these big pieces of apparel items so fast because you guys like them, which is a good thing. It really is a good thing, and I love it. But what I don't love is not being able to have it for the people that are discovering the brand 3 months after that product releases, and then it's out of stock and we don't have the money to be able to pay for it, to get it restocked fast enough. So that's where we're at with the business, and things are really going well. It's just we've hit this $1 million a year mark in revenue, to where how do you get to from 1 million to 5 million, 1 million to 10 million in the next 2 or 3 years. And the biggest piece is having the funding and having the capital to buy more products, the ones that are doing really well. Make sure that you have those in stock. So that's a big piece that we're working on right now. But don't lose faith in what you're doing. That is something that I had to remind myself every single day while I was in the house, and even now in the warehouse. It's like, just because you get to that next level, it doesn't mean that the problem's going to go away. Now you're figuring out, okay, how do I got out of the house and into a warehouse. I dreamed of this. I thought about this every day for years. Now we're here. Okay, now how do we go from a 3,000 square foot warehouse to in 5 years having a 30,000 square foot warehouse on our own plot of land with a gym inside, a fulfillment team, a warehouse space? Like, that's what we're working towards now. We're going to start with what I take for health and wellness side, right? And not Alpha Country products first, but a very, very, very big part of my life since getting out of the military. My testosterone was tanked when I got out. It was I think it was a 258 the month after I got out of the military, and that was a huge red flag for me. And immediately I got in contact with Core Medical Group and got everything set up. I had my blood work done with them, the consults with their PAs, the whole 9 yards. Everything was super professional, and I am now on, I do 0.3 mils twice a week. So Mondays and Fridays, I'll stick my testosterone replacement therapy. Right now I'm doing what's called T-Balance, and it's got testosterone cypionate, enanthate, and propionate. All right, this is a very low dose. I don't really want to be in the 1,000 to plus range, I want to be sitting around like 650 to 800, because if I'm sitting at like 1,000, 900 to 1,000 level, it's just a lot harder for me to run and do the endurance training that I'm doing. And so I like to do 0.3 twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, and that'll be my testosterone. And then on Tuesdays and Saturdays, I will take an Astrazole and clomiphene. So that is just for pretty much offsetting the boosting up in testosterone. And you guys definitely go to them about this stuff. I'm no professional in it. I listen to them. I take what they tell me to take and how to take it, when to take it, and I let the professionals do their job. And so, but I want to be very open with you guys about my TRT protocol. I think that there are so many influencers and people that just look absolutely insane and that are doing crazy stuff that all of you guys want to do, but are not being very open about what they're taking. If it's illegal stuff, I understand they can't talk about that. But if you are on some sort of TRT, I think it's fully like feasible to talk about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And I want you guys to understand that I'm an open book. I don't have anything to hide from you guys. I want you guys to know exactly what I'm taking, when I'm taking it, how I'm taking it, things like that. So moving into Alpha Country supplements, all the things that I formulated based off of what I need myself, selfishly, but also wanted to bring, to you guys. So one of the bottles that I don't have is Stay Ready Joint Support, because I load everything up into this weekly divider I put all my vitamins into here, and it's just too easy to just go, all right, Thursday, what do I need to take Thursday? Open it up, drink it, or drink my reds and greens with it, and take it. So everything that's in this pill divider is Stay Ready Joints. We got Stay Ready Multivitamin, Beef Organ Complex. We have Test Booster. Yes, even though I'm on TRT, I still want my body to try to produce it naturally, right? So I still take the Test Booster. And then one of my favorite products is Turkesterone, and very simplified, this is going to increase protein synthesis for you. So instead of peeing out, for example, 30% of the protein that you take every single day, this is going to help increase that to where your body holds in more. So instead of peeing out 30%, you're only going to pee out 20%. That's just an example. Don't quote me on that, but that's how this works. It helps your body retain the protein that you are getting in. With that being said, if you're not hitting your protein mark, so if I weigh 200 pounds, I need to be eating 200 grams or drinking 200 grams of protein daily. So whether that's getting 150 grams of protein from all my meals throughout the day, and then I have a 50 gram protein shake after working out, that is at least getting you to your 200 grams. Do not just drink all of your protein. All right, make sure that it's coming from your food too. That's very important. But Turkesterone helps you retain a lot of the protein than if you were not to be taking something to increase the protein synthesis in your body. I mean, all of these are my favorite, so I guess I can't really say. They all have a different purpose for it. All right, Brain Gains is the cognitive enhancing supplement that I created. It has got a lot of really, really solid ingredients like lion's mane mushroom, like organic cordyceps. I love how this is very, very natural. I mean, all of these supplements from Alpha Country, we try to keep them as natural and as clean as possible. So Brain Gains, you can definitely tell a difference from when you don't take this than when you do. All right, take this stuff for a couple weeks and you will really start to notice the effects of it, and then go 1 or 2 days without taking it, and that's how you'll know, okay, these are definitely working in my favor. And this helps me with all the stuff that I have going on with running a business, coaching, training. Like, I need to stay as cognitively enhanced as possible, I guess is what you want to call it. And then also, when I need to wind down, I need to be able to go to sleep, right? I need to be able to shut off those racing thoughts, I need to be able to shut off my brain when it's time to go to sleep. And this sleep tight formula is 2 ingredients. It's magnesium and tart cherry. I did a lot of research about, melatonin and things like that. And I used to take melatonin like crazy when I was in the military so that I could fall asleep. And a lot of the research that I was doing was pointing to just these 2 ingredients, magnesium and vitacherry, which is just whole tart cherry. So these 2 ingredients will definitely help you, if you consistently take it, get the quality sleep that you want. Is it going to knock you out like a melatonin would? No, but it's also not going to make you hungover and feel groggy the next day either. One thing that I will advise you guys on is that I have some crazy dreams, and I've talked to a lot of people that have taken this. Like, your sleep is so deep that you have some really vivid dreams. So this is what I take: 2 pills of Sleep Tight at night, and then I like to just get everything done all at once. So like I said, everything's in my vitamin divider, and then I will do my Stay Ready greens and Stay Ready reds in a cup like this, and this is when I will just take everything at once. So one thing when I started making the greens and red formulas that I told the formulation team was, this cannot taste like, just chopped up mulch from the lawnmower. Like, I do not want that. But I also don't want it to be overly sweet, because we're just masking that flavor with a bunch of, sugars and things like that. So I'll mix 1 scoop of Stay Ready greens and 1 scoop of Stay Ready reds, and then I'll just go ahead and take all my pills all at once. And now everything is taken care of for the day. But that is my daily vitamin intake, my daily superfood intake with the Stay Ready reds and greens, and then also what you guys are seeing me take on a weekly basis, at least twice a week, is my TRT and HRT protocol.